Tğᴇ.
Knowledge is power, information is key, and that is why we aim to unlock the doors of opinion, unveiling the stories that need to be told. The Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. as we invoke the thought-provoking discussion, tackle the tough questions, challenge assumption, and give a voice to the unheard. This is the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Welcome on board the Morning Express.
Good morning.
You are listening to the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Good morning.
It's a pleasant Tuesday morning, the 28th day in the month of April 2026. And regardless of the weather, regardless of the predictions from NIMET, just choose that you want to make yourself safe, right, while you're going out, or probably you even work from home. Just make sure you're safe wherever you are. We are getting deeply into the raining season, and so you want to do everything possible to keep yourself safe from any weather. I was listening to the ambassador of Taiwan to Nigeria, and he was trying to tell us the fact that we are so lucky as Nigerians that they even envy us as Taiwan, saying we do not have natural disasters, and they not even resources. They don't have resources like us, natural resources. We don't experience natural disasters, but they have their brains, right? It struck me, and so let's just be thankful for our weather. So it's not too intense, though we still complain to the fact that when we have the sun hitting so scorchingly, or we have the rain falling so heavily, we still complain, oh, it's too much and all that. But trust me, we're as lucky as anything, because we do not battle with all these natural disasters that other countries actually battle with. So we never weather prediction or weather condition. Please do well to stay safe and keep yourself safe and warm. You're welcome to the Morning Express right here on Mainland 98.3 FM. This is where we also make your day going. We also make your day an interesting one. While you are focusing on what makes money, or what we give you money, we'll definitely keep you updated, because you need to know that's the importance of the media, right? We'll stand in the gap to give you and to update you, to keep you abreast of what is going on in our environment, right, in our society, in our communities, in the nation, in the country, in the continent, and in the world at large. And we also peruse the pages of our newspapers, our dailies, to see what's going on, because they give us these updates, and we give several perspectives. We holistically look at these issues with the help of our in-house analyst, of course, Said Fouad will be joining us shortly as well, and we'll also let you be part of the conversation, right? You can also vent and give your analysis, give your perspective, because that is what this is about. So you're welcome on board Trends in the Papers. It is on Mainland 98.3 FM, and you can join us on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. That's the handle at Mainland 98.3 FM. And you can also listen via Radio Garden or our website. On Radio Garden, you can search for Mainland 98.3 FM. And on our website, handle is www.mainlandfm.com. www.mainlandfm.com. All right. Just give me a minute. Trying to, so I can connect and establish a connection with Said Fouad. I think I'm getting something that I don't understand from here, but I'll quickly attend to it. Okay, all right. And trying to connect with in-house analysts who are helping us to holistically look at all of these issues and also give a better understanding so we can better understand, and you can also form your perspective and your analysis. Good morning, Side Forward.
Yeah, good morning, Lady Mo. How are you doing?
Doing very well. Hope you had a restful night.
Yeah, it was a restful night.
You know, so I mean it sometimes when I ask you, hope you had a restful night, being that most times I know when you leave office, I mean the time that you leave office, and then you would have to necessarily be up in the morning, very early in the morning, and that's why I intentionally ask, hope you had a restful night, because I know the number of hours you're supposed to sleep well. But then the number of hours you sleep, and I'm sure that when you even get home at that late hour, you will still definitely not sleep immediately. You will still put things together, a couple of things together before you sleep. So that's why I ask intentionally. Hope you had a restful night. How you ask?
It's a routine that naturally you know sometimes that you're overstretching yourself because again sleep can be very big when you look at the human anatomy, human health and the consequences of overstretching yourself.
Right.
A simple thing as not sleeping as and when due, not having enough sleep can take you out. It can have that very adverse effect on human health. So what I try to do is that if I don't really sleep at night, I make sure that during the daytime I'm able to at least make up for whatever I must have missed in my sleeping time at night. But it is a routine that we've adapted to for a long time now, all the way from the print media. You keep chasing stories, you are working against deadlines and all of that. So in the broadcast media, it's almost like the same routine, but in a different in a different way. But whatever it is, it's a job we've signed up to do, and I think we're enjoying it. Right.
I thank God that you even mentioned how you try to fill up the gap of not sleeping well, and especially during the day. For those that are taking your footsteps, because I've heard somebody say, see Said Forward now. Said Forward I'm sure he sleeps very late, doesn't even sleep at all sometimes. And I'm like, he knows how you can't cheat nature. He knows how he can manage himself.
I love my office, and that's it. I just sleep.
Right. You need it, because you can't cheat nature, really. That's the reality. You have to just give it to it. But you're welcome on board, Side Forward, to change some papers. Right.
Yeah.
Well, without further ado, let's see what's happening. We'll quickly take a trip outside the country. Well, it's quite related to Nigerians, because Nigerians are involved. We are battling with internal crises. We're battling with internal insecurity. And then you wonder, maybe the country is not safe enough. Let me just try another country and, look for better green pasture for myself, for myself and all that. And then you get the news of, xenophobic attitude. And then you get the news of attacks of Nigerians outside the country, where you think you want to get greener pasture, where you think you want to get a better life for yourself and all that. I'm sure that a couple of persons will know about the stories happening in South Africa presently, even Ghana, right, about the fight and attacks of Nigerians and all that, and which has even led to couple of persons, Nigerians, that two precisely with the reports we're getting this morning, Amaramiro Emmanuel and Ekpeyoung Andrew. And so this morning from the Guardian newspaper, the Nigerian consulate in Johannesburg, condemned the killings of these two Nigerians by South African National Defense Force personnel in Port Elizabeth. However, the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, urged Nigerians and other foreign nationals residing in the country to respect the law, customs, and traditions. And following this tragedy, the Consul General stated yesterday that the killings had further raised questions about the safety of Nigerians and other foreigners in Madiba's country. And she also added that separate incidents had left the bereaved families, the Nigerian community, and even diplomatic missions in shock. And they noted that inherent danger over continuous generalization in some quarters and tagging of well-meaning innocent Nigerians in the country as criminals. Right. I even stumbled on a video where I couldn't ascertain who exactly was giving directive to foreign, I think Asian countries that have businesses in South Africa, giving them directive that any African national working with them, they have to lay them off, send them away and all that, that if they don't do that within some given time, that they will have to force them to shut their businesses down. I'm like, really? Side for what?
Well, the story of South Africa, black South Africans, not all of them actually, because again, there are quite a number of reasonable black South Africans. When you see them speak, you understand that they understand the nuances of the need for us as the black continent to work together in unison, if you understand what I'm saying. But unfortunately, we have a situation with a lot of these black South Africans who are not so educated, who are not so exposed, who suffer from economic deprivation. And so when they make their arguments, you understand that it is coming from a place of frustration, a place of lack of knowledge, lack of exposure. And unfortunately, the South African government, just after Mandela, the government after government, from Jacob Zuma to Thabo Mbeki to even Ramaphosa, have not done enough, Lady Mo, to create that enabling environment for these guys to thrive. As I've seen people argue that, they get things free and all of that. Again, apartheid has subjugated them, subdued them, and taught them to beggars, practically beggars in their own country. Look, they got independence, but not economic independence, Lady Mo. A lot of the farms are still land are still owned by the white farmers, and deliberately there's still what you call economic apartheid going on in South Africa for these guys.
Right.
They were not all through appetite. They were denied good education. They were denied empowerment. That is not to justify whatever nonsense they are doing, Lady Mo. Because again, the sad part of the story is that, look, these are guys who will not dare touch a white South African. They will not even go near them. They are emboldened. They are strong enough to go after other black Africans who are in their country, who they think are taking their jobs. But they've forgotten that, look, these jobs have been made available to these other Africans only because they have been denied economic empowerment, what I call economic apartheid going on in South Africa. So I think for Nigerians, 2 Nigerians have now died, according to the reports we have.
The
Nigerian government needs to make a very strong statement. It's not just to begin to give advisory. I think at the high level of governance, the Nigerian government needs to step in and make a very strong statement as to the need why the South African government must ensure the safety of all Nigerians in South Africa. We do it here, Lady Mo. There are a lot of South Africans who are working here. They have businesses here. And so we should not get to the point where Nigerians will now stand up and say, hey, we want to start to go after businesses in Nigeria owned by South Africans. So it is important that at the highest level of government, they step in, get the South African government to do more. What I've been doing since the president doing is just mere rhetoric. We need to see them deploy their policemen, their soldiers if it's needed, to begin to protect foreign nationals who are in their country. I've just been seeing more rhetoric, no action. You can't just have a society where people wake up and begin to stomp on people, strike them to death, stone them to death. Is that the Banana Republic? But again, it's a shame that in black Africa, in Mother Africa, that is our story. Blacks rising against blacks in a black continent. Very unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate, especially when it now turns to losing lives and properties. Really, away from that, let's talk about the president ordering envoys, to rebrand Nigeria and also attract investment. The president charged the Nigerians, the newly appointed ambassadors and high commissioners, to work towards improving the country's global image, and he also urged them to pursue foreign investment and to also strengthen strategic partnerships. And he gave them this. That was yesterday via the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and he said that their appointments, had reflected the administration's confidence in the ability to advance Nigerians' interest on the international stage. Right. A statement by the SGF's media aide as well, Yomi Odunuga, read Tinubu's charge to the newly appointed ambassadors and high commissioners to aggressively pursue foreign investment, to strengthen strategic partnerships, and to also reposition the country's global image in line with evolving diplomatic realities. People even have raised concerns and questions about, which is the necessity, right? The right charge and directive to envoys to other countries, and especially for the global image of Nigeria. But even the recent diplomatic ties, the recent visitation of even the president to other countries, collaboration, what has it resulted to? People questioning that, and different angles to it. But what's your reaction to this president's directive to the envoys?
Well, okay, Jane, that would be the right thing to tell them. It was, I think it was more like was it a valedictory summit or something like that? Again, maybe just to have some form of briefings, have a conversation with these guys who are now going to be sent, who are already sent, and who may now be leaving. Induction, thank you. I was looking for that word. There was an induction ceremony to officially, have some form of conversation with these guys, because again, as ambassadors, they will also be promoters of Nigeria in those countries. So it's just normal that in such an event, you'll have the government telling them to, sell the image of the country, brand it, give it a good image and what have you. But I think that the reality of how a country is perceived in the international community goes beyond what the ambassadors are saying or what they are putting out there. These guys also have ambassadors in Nigeria. So the countries you want to go out there to sell your country to, they also have representatives here. And they are not just here to sell their own country to Nigeria. They are also taking notes of things. They are aggregating what is happening in the news. And that, for me, is even more important than the people you are sending out. Lady Mo. Because they are here. They have first-hand information. They read our papers. They listen to our news. They watch our television. Were you not here when, for example, a U.S. congressman was quoting a TV station in Nigeria on the issue of Christian genocide?
Yeah, right.
So that is the reality. And on Sunday, I was on the sidelines before Political Roundtable. I was having a conversation with Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi, and he talked about the fact that, look, the role of the media again in helping to reshape the narrative, in helping to frame the stories. And I said that, look, the Nigerian media would like to portray Nigeria in good light. We want to help, put out Nigeria in good light. But we can't lie about the situation of the country. That's number one.
Right.
We can't say because we want to make Nigeria good before the international community, we should not be lying about our situation.
Especially the obvious insecurity
situation and all of that. Yes. Look, I keep telling people, and I think we eventually both agree that, look, we don't even report everything that happens in the country.
Right.
All of the killings, kidnappings, as much as it appears that, look, that's like almost the focus of the average newspaper, average media outlet. The reality is that, look, that's even a fraction of the real things that happen in the country that we put out there. The other one is, are we getting enough collaboration from government agencies too, Lady Mo? You want them to grant an interview. You are, for example, talking to the police to give you details about the operations. You are reaching out to the army to say, look, what is happening in these areas. Half of the time, they are not even willing to talk to you. So what do you want to report? So you only report what is available to you.
Right.
So if the people say they are killing them, and that's the report you have with evidence, you report that. You now meet the security operators and say, oh, what are you doing about the killing? If they are not ready to talk, what do? You can't report what has not been what you don't have documentations on.
Right.
You don't have evidence on. You must have the fact before you report it. So we wish all the ambassadors good luck. At least when they eventually depart Nigeria for those countries, maybe some of them will get a bit more busy with their jobs. People are no mockery. But it's obvious the man is just be faffing around. He has really nothing to it. So if he goes to wherever, I think he's in protest to which country against him?
Was it Mexico or where again?
Wherever they are, but again, tell you that it's of no real significance. The reality is that if he leaves eventually for that country, he probably will get himself a bit more peace than begin to just faff around and put up ridiculous statistics and analysis of what is happening in the country. The guy has become extremely ridiculous, very shameful. Some of the things you see him try to do, but again, it's a choice he has made for himself. History will judge him.
Right. Yeah, Mexico. Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah,
Mexico.
Because
I remember about I remembered about the comments about the country known for famously to deal with drugs and all that. And somebody was saying you'd have been accusing or been calling someone as allegations on it. Do go and face them.
Look, I'm sure when he gets there, he will have a lot on his hands.
Right.
I hope so.
Right.
And so that he can just
all right. Thank you very much. Aside for still perusing the pages of our papers, the Punch newspaper captures updates on the alleged coup plot, right? And the updates we have that the Federal High Court in Abuja yesterday had ordered an accelerated hearing in the trial of the 6 suspects that were accused of plotting to overthrow the present administration, and the parallel court-martial proceedings involving the 7 military officers linked to the alleged coup are also set to resume on May 8th, right? And the development was definitely contained in the statement that was shared yesterday, indicating that the judge, that's Justice Joyce Abdul-Malik, invoked a speedy trial procedure and also fixed April 29, April 30, May 4 and May 5 for the commencement of the trial and hearing of the bail applications. You have any reactions to that?
Well, I think for me, the most important part of the report, yes, we would expect that there will be some form of accelerated hearing. A lot of Nigerians will be hoping that, apart from Nigerians, even the family members of these accused,
they have even been protesting before now.
They've been talking about the need to get them into the courts to defend themselves. After over 6 months, that eventually happened. And one would expect that, look, there will be no more delay in the trials. Let it be done. If they are found guilty, so be it. They will face the consequences of their action. And if they are discovered found not guilty, I'm sure the courts will do what they need to do. But at least their families can begin to have some form of closure eventually as to what will happen to them. But the reason why the courts have now decided that the media will not be a part of the trial.
Yeah, they were barred. They were barred from covering the proceedings.
So why the judge decided that the media should not cover the proceedings is what I don't understand. This is a very, very sensitive trial. And you know what is going to happen, Lady Mo? The media will still cover the trial. With or without access to the courtroom. And you know what will now happen? It will now be so speculative. Because again, the media will now use inside sources, those who are granted access into the court to report what is going on. So it would have just been better.
Is there particularly a security concern? Because when it has to do with cases like this, is it?
People plan coup. What is the they know this? The charges have been read now. Let them know what is so big about the charges: treason, terrorism sponsorship, blah blah blah, and all of that. So the charges are quite straightforward. What is so big about? Are we so new? Are we not seeing trials of people who in the past have been accused of planning coup, even under the military rule? They will still, the media was still allowed, granted access into the trial court of the trials of most of those people accused. Because what will now happen is that, look, the reporting will be so speculative. Unnamed sources, insider sources, people who are familiar with the matter. That's what you'll be hearing. So the reports will still happen eventually. And again, I've not even seen any reason why the court decides that they have decided that the media should not be a part of the proceedings. But they know best. But I'm just saying that the media will still report the proceedings, whether they like it or not.
Well, still trends in the papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. Of course, the purpose of the media is to give information, to let the people know what's happening, to bridge the gap of, ignorance on what is happening between the government and the people. Right.
Let me ask you, what's the big deal? People have been accused of planning a coup for over 6 months. It all started with them denying that there was a coup or there was no coup. It was even the same media that was reported that people have been arrested or that there was nothing like that. Indeed, there was something like that. Now, for over 6 months, you kept those guys in the cooler. Nobody knew what was happening to them until their families and also the media started, demanding that the right thing be done.
Right.
And some human rights lawyers like Mr. Femi Falana say, now you have taken them to court. Proceedings are to start. You say the media should not be a part of it. What are we hiding?
I really do not know.
Well,
the judge is in the best position to give us reasons behind. Reasons for not allowing the media to cover and the proceedings.
We discovered this. We discovered that. Anyway,
is it sending any signal?
Look, I'm sure the excuse again from the report. It was said that the DSS was still going to brief the media as to the reason why the judge have decided that they will not be a part of the proceedings. We're still expecting the DSS to do that briefing. They need to explain why they are deciding that the media should not be part of the proceedings.
Well, all is well. Nigeria, sometimes when you ask some questions, sometimes you get confused. I
know they will tell you maybe security concerns, blah blah blah, but again.
But transparency. There's nothing too bogus. There's nothing to.
Let's just allow. I've just told you that you will see that those proceedings will still be reported. But the problem now is that the proceedings will be reported in a way.
The credibility.
Well, look. The problem is that it's not going to leave too many questions out there that people will be looking answers for. That look, what is happening here? What is happening here? Why is this happening? Because the media has to report. They just have to report. Whether they report it through named or non-named sources, these reports will still come out.
Right. Away from that quickly, let's talk about a report here with the Vanguard newspaper about insecurity. 50 killed in Adamawa, Benue, Plateau, and 23 pupils abducted in Kogi State. Herdsmen killed 7 in Benue, gunmen kidnapped farm manager in Ondo State, pastor, wife, and even 2 children killed in Plateau State. Governor Fintiri saying massacre, tragic, barbaric, and unacceptable. According to the reports, we get saying that no fewer than 39 persons were killed. That was late Sunday night at a community in Gombe local government area of Adamawa State by Boko Haram members. The killing is even coming just a day. On a day, a pastor and his wife and 2 children were also murdered by gunmen at a village in Riyom local government area of Plateau State. Same night, at least 23 pupils and wife of a school proprietor were also kidnapped in an orphanage and school facility at Zariagi area of Lokoja in Kogi State. Of course, the government condemned the killing and attack. And gunmen also abducted a farm manager, Falabi Ajayi, at a community as well in Akure North local government area of Ondo State. And at least 7 people were equally killed by suspected herdsmen at a community, a border settlement along a road in the local government area of Benue State. And it was learned that the attack in Adamawa, which has thrown the community into mourning, reportedly lasted for hours as heavily armed insurgents stormed the village, unleashing terror on defenseless residents. Sometimes I just get tempted not to bring out these reports, but we have to report them. That's what we do.
The reports are in the papers, and what we're doing is to look at what has been reported in the papers. And again, may we not get to the point where we now begin. We have now started to accept abnormality as being normal. Because again, it's as if these reports are just what's there. People are just the normal thing. People have been killed in different parts of the country. We read it as headlines and we just move on.
Loss of life. Wow.
Now, across the country, in different parts of the country, you have killings and abductions. I saw a video yesterday that was going to depress me. I had to quickly just take it off. Where he was from the video, I don't know, we have not confirmed it. Show some of these insurgents or some of these bandits who have abducted. I think they said these were the people that were abducted in Kogi State. You know, beating them, about 5 or 6 of them. You know, beating, harassing them. About 3 women, a man, and I think a child were being assaulted. Lady Mo. It was, look, extremely depressing to watch. And that is the situation of quite a number of Nigerians who are still in the den of these kidnappers, these deranged, crazy elements, crazy people. And look at what you have in the report now. Just in Adamawa State now, mass killings of Nigerians. That happened on Sunday night, right? All through Sunday night.
Yes.
I think across the country, the number is put at about 50 Nigerians, Abi?
Right, yes.
Look, is there anything that we need to say again about the level of insecurity we have in the country? Is there something we have not said that we can talk about now? Is there anything we have not said, really? And so if there's nothing we have not said, whether suggestions, whether for the sake of just pointing or calling the attention of the government to it, does it appear like we have a government that is even serious about this issue? In their actions, in the way they talk, their posturing, the way they carry themselves, does it appear? Look, are you convinced that we have a government that is actually very serious about tackling this problem, Lady Mo?
Well, the presidential spokesman had mentioned that the president has done an impressive work to transform Nigeria and give Nigerians something to be proud of. So,
and he said they were going to do a tour of those projects, Abi?
Yes, that's according to Bayo Onanuga, the spokesman, when he was briefing journalists ahead of the tour of projects.
Ahead of the tour of the project, beautiful. So what they want to show Nigerians are the roads, I'm sure a number of roads that are being built and all of that. But these are the same roads, a lot of them uncompleted, a lot of them ongoing projects. And I've told quite a number of people who care to listen that, look, I'm going to do something and I'm still putting that research together. Under Jonathan, a government that was paying subsidy, I'm going to pick up all the projects he did that he completed in his 6 years as president. We'll just dig it out with facts, evidence. All the projects he did, despite the fact that he was paying subsidy. Under Buhari, we're also going to dig out a number of projects, the projects he did and completed. So the reality is that, look, every government, no matter what you think about them, will have a long list of projects that they started and completed during their tenure. Are you going to talk about Obasanjo? Are you saying Obasanjo did not initiate projects and also completed them? So we cannot limit governance to projects alone, Lady Mo. The most important job of any government is the security of lives and properties of the people, right?
Of course.
What is the scorecard of this administration on the number one most important job of government? It should tell us what is the scorecard. You can't jump to number 10, Abi, Lady Mo. It should be you start from the top. The first job, Abi, unless they are telling us that that's not actually the most important job of any government. Can Mr. Bayo Onanuga come and tell us, figure for figure, fact for fact, the scorecard, what he thinks is the scorecard of this administration in the area of insecurity? You build the roads, people cannot use the roads, Lady Mo. What then is the use? Yes, you have built the roads, but the people cannot even use the roads. For fear of abduction, kidnapping, mass murder, communities have been deserted. Just over the weekend, one of the papers reported that about 30 traditional rulers have left their kingdom in Kwara State. They want to sell
have deserted communities in Kwara now.
That's what I'm saying. That look, when the king has left the palace, what is remaining? Who will live? Who will remain in such a place? And it's not just Kwara. Situations like that in Benue, in Plateau, in Taraba, in Adamawa, in Borno State. Almost on a daily basis. Lady Mo, we do this job almost every day. Is there a day we open the papers and we don't have these kinds of reports?
Not at all.
And so what we are saying is that, look, and the sad part of whatever is this idea of trying to deflect on the responsibility, on whose responsibility it is to protect the lives and properties of the people. I am so shocked that we have a government now where their supporters now think it is not the job of the president. Lady Mo. Whereas we have enough evidence of even the current president calling out former presidents who failed in the past to secure the lives and properties of the people. Lady Mo.
That video.
Enough evidence to show that this same president, when he was the leader of the opposition, kept calling out former presidents who did not do enough, who he considered not doing enough, or who had failed to protect the lives and properties of the people. But today, the supporters of this same president are telling you, oh, it is not his job. Let them move. So how then do we solve the problem? If we are still on the argument of on whose responsibility it is to do the job, if we are still deflecting on who should do the job.
Well,
very unfortunate.
Very, if you say so, because that's the state of the current state of what we have. Trends in the paper today is on Mainland 96.3 FM. We are still going through the details and the corners of our papers to see what's going on, and also giving analyses by our in-house analyst side forward on the other side, and as well you can join the conversation on Facebook and YouTube. You can also drop your concerns, your reservations right there. We'll pay attention to them. Right, away from that quickly, the Metro page of the Punch reported that yesterday to a resident of Lagos was reported that residents were thrown into shock, after a couple, Paul Oyama and Ogbona, allegedly beat their 10-year-old adopted daughter to death in an area in Lagos State, and that it happened on Sunday, that following weeks of alleged abuse. And it was gathered, according to the reports, that the couple, had reportedly subjected the child to persistent maltreatment, including frequent assaults and sending her on strenuous errands despite her young age. And even the girl who is identified or was identified as Faith was said to have fallen healed for about 2 weeks, but the alleged abuse still continued unabated. And residents, according to the reports yesterday, said that the situation escalated on Sunday when the husband and wife were said to have severely beaten the ailing child, and leading to her death. Aside forward.
Well, for every parent listening to us this morning, my prayer is you help me translate. A
child will not become another's child.
But people are just wicked. Look, there are people who are, when you are looking for the devil, don't look too far. Don't even go far. You see them. It's written all over them. How do you, a 10-year-old lady, I'm just hoping that the police have started work on this.
Right.
Call them in, begin their investigation, make them face it. If there's enough evidence to show that whatever they did is the reason why this child is dead, then they should be taken in and made to face the music. Look, we've seen things like this before. That's why, look, for every parent, just keep praying that God should give you the good health, long life, whatever you will need, the resources to take care of your child. The idea of go and stay with somebody, people are just crazy. And you'll be surprised that this couple will have their own children, their own biological children. And look, the sad part of what we now have is that people in our communities don't care again. So they will not say anything while the thing is going on. Nobody will try to help. Nobody will try to confront the couple. What isn't concerned is what you will hear. But sometimes these things are necessary. When we see that people are going mad, sometimes we have to stand up to them. As neighbors, as community leaders, when we see that some couples are becoming mad, you can do a video of them. Put them on social media to embarrass them. It helps, Lady Mo. I'm sure that there are community members, there are neighbors of this couple who just said, oh, it does not really concern me. Look at what has now happened. That innocent 10-year-old is dead.
Well, according to the reports, it was some residents who had been observing what was going on. That
when they could work before the thing got to the point where the child died. They should have done something. And these are areas where social media help try to document this obvious abuse of the young child and put it on social media, and then let's see what will happen. Because there are people who are just completely mad. I look at a couple who told your about here, he said, "Yahoo, go help." What if the wife said is not correct? So the husband not even call the wife to order. But they are united in wickedness. Just 10-year-old.
All is well. Well, I mean, the investigation is ongoing, and I'm sure that the constituted authority will take that into an important matter to deal with. Away from that quickly, let's go to the aviation sector. The Punch newspaper captured on the jet fuel crisis. They're seeking 30-day credit window for airlines. To tackle Nigeria's worsening jet fuel shortage and price surge, the federal government has now asked marketers to grant the airline operators a 30-day credit window and also sell aviation fuel directly to them. Which this is coming sequel to a series of high-level engagements that was convened by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. Following the earlier meeting they had called, that had been called by the Minister of Aviation and Airspace Management on April 22 this year, and the session had brought together representatives from the Ministries of Aviation and Petroleum Resources as well as major aviation agencies. And according to the executive summary of the meeting that was obtained yesterday, the stakeholders called for urgent regulatory intervention to stabilize prices and urging authorities to engage relevant bodies to review the pricing components linked to international benchmark.
Well, the airline operators are complaining anymore. Again, if you look at the story, it's some of the same complaints we also on the bottom of the ladder are talking about. It's not that it is touching the people up there. So but the airline operators are saying that, look, their monthly invoice, is it daily or daily? Yes, daily. No, to fuel an aircraft on a single trip, that aviation fuel used to cost them about 2-point-something million,
right?
For just one aircraft, to fuel one aircraft for a trip. But now they are doing close to 8.5 million naira. What used to cost them just about 2-point-something million, they now have to do over 8 million naira for just to fuel just one aircraft for a single trip.
That's a lot.
It's unbelievable. So the aviation fuel that used to sell, according to them, for like around 1,000 naira per liter, is now selling for over almost 3,000 naira per liter. And so what they are saying that they're going to shut down because they cannot put all their profit, all their earning into buying aviation fuel. Recently, I was privileged to listen to an African airline. So their marketing manager was in Nigeria. I think they now want to define the Nigerian route. One of the airlines in Central Africa, a very small country of about 2 million people. So the marketing manager of the airline, I would have mentioned the line, but for sake of advertisement.
Right.
So was now having a conversation telling, just advertising to Nigerians why they need to fly that particular airline. And I remember the presenter was asking that lady that, look, this Iran war, airlines are complaining, airfares have become very expensive. How are you guys coping in your country? The country is, and he said, we're an oil producing nation. We're also one of the oil producing nations in the Central African area. What we are doing is that as an airline, we have an arrangement with government on a fixed price, a fixed subsidized price for Jet A1. So that's how they've been doing it. So, and I'm sure in that same country, it will not be only Jet A1 that they are subsidizing and putting a fixed price on. I'm sure they'll be doing that on petrol too. So, why the airlines now are talking about the need for government to intervene? It is the same thing we have been telling government too, as ordinary people. Public transport too is not only airfares, look at what people have to spend on a daily basis now to move themselves around. And we have not seen any meaningful intervention from the government. The last intervention we heard from them was CNG. Where is the CNG now? 100,000 CNG kits. Whereas in other countries, we did a complete review recently of what some other countries are doing at this time to help their countries or their people, the people at the lowest end of the ladder in their different countries, at least mitigate and reduce the burden. What is our government doing, Lìdìmọ̀? What exactly are we doing? It's not so. When I saw the issue of the airline, well, they are the ones who have the money to fly around. What of those of us who cannot fly around? The talakawas that use buses, vehicles all around. So if they are going to be supporting the airlines, what would they do to other Nigerians who don't fly, Lìdìmọ̀?
Well, all is well. That's all I can say. All is well. All is well.
Because this Iran war, the way it's going, it appears that the US is completely lost. They are bereft of idea of how to end the war they started. The German Chancellor was eating very hard at them recently. That look, they caused this mess, they don't even know how to clear up the mess. So it's a war that might not end anytime soon, Lìdìmọ̀. I'm telling you. They might not be throwing bombs now, but the blockade, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and how to end the blockade and the opening of the Strait of Hormuz is something that may take months of negotiations to happen, Lìdìmọ̀. So for normalcy to return, it might be something that will take us like another 1 or 2 years. So what then do we do as a country?
All is well. That's still all I can say, Side Forward. Quickly, before we call it a
all is not well,
Side Forward, we speak positivity. Speak positively.
Okay.
Let's not be pessimistic. We need to be positive. Sincerely.
We want to speak positivity, but the pocket is not positive. You are trying to be positive, your pocket is saying something else.
Minus 0.000.
Account balance is not showing any positive sign. It's red.
Oh my God.
Red.
Well, quickly, let's talk about just analyze these political updates, especially in the ruling party, right? Because anxiety is now mounting within the ruling party as aspirants for various elective positions are complaining of their inability to purchase nomination and expression of interest form, despite the assurances by party leadership. And the Guardian newspaper was also written that the All Progressive Congress, beginning to march towards the 2027 election, clash over access to nomination forms that exposed, deeper battle for control, especially with governors and aspirants locked in a contest that risk, triggering or damaging internal rupture. And recently, the president had, given the governors, right, to handle the whatever process, they would have to pick their candidate for the different position in different states. And some aggrieved aspirants yesterday, had raised alarm that state governors in the party have hijacked the distribution of the expression of interest and nomination forms that are meant for the states, with a view of allocating them to preferred candidates. And they had called on the president to intervene by, calling the governors to order. But the president was the one that gave the governors. So,
but did he tell them to go and hijack the forms?
Okay.
And that's why we talk about internal democracy in these political parties. So if the president said, the governor should go and take charge of organizing the primary, did he tell him to go and hide the nomination forms, expression of interest form in their brother? They should not release it to people.
So Saifa, would the president? Yes. So the president would claim not to be in the known of what the governors will be capable of.
That is why we have talked about this idea of running political parties not on what you can call party structure, party constitution, the rule of law within the party, internal democracy, but allowing just people to decide for the entire party. This idea of Baba Sokwe. Ordinarily, the governors are not supposed to run the party. The party is supposed to have a state structure. They are supposed to be leaders of the party at the state level who are supposed to run the parties. But when you say the governors are in charge of the party, this is what you get. The same thing you have at the national level. The president is in charge of the party. It dictates to the party. The National Working Committee of the party cannot act independently of what the president wants.
That's why you see in Abia State, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Rep, Kalu, and former Abia State Governor, saying that the president had told them to take charge of the APC.
You see the problem now, because the problem is that in the states where the APC don't have governors, you now see a state like Abia, for example, where the governor Alex Oti is a Labour Party. You now have two leaders of the party saying that they are in charge of the party. What about the ESCO of the party in the state, Lady Mo? Don't they have chairman, secretary, and what have you, ESCO? So you have Orji Uzor saying, well, I'm a former governor, a high-ranking senator. You have the deputy speaker, Ben Kalu, who also says, well, I'm in charge. In charge of what? Those are the people that will now go and odd form. Look at it at the national level now, Lady Mo. There's somebody in the APC now who says he wants to contest as president. One Osifo. Even I hope it's not our regular Osifo from Abaranji.
I think I saw that.
There's a guy who says he wants to buy the presidential
I saw that. I saw
that he wants to run. He's a member of the APC. And his desire is to run for president under the APC. He wants to slug it out to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the primaries. They say the guy knows C-form, Lady Mo. Does he not deserve to buy form? He's a member of the party. If he has the money, why can't he? They say the form is scarce. They can't even find the form. Or maybe they printed just one form for president.
Wow. What was that the essence of?
To buy form.
What's that the essence of selling the form when you're already in a consensus manner? Pick the candidate for yourself.
You the story telling you now that the forms are not even available. So in the states, the governors have ordered the form. At the federal level now, there's a guy who says, look, even though you have endorsed the president, it does not automatically mean that there's a consensus. I want to run. I'm interested. I'm a bona fide member and I have my money. They say there's no form now. The guy cannot even get form.
Well, that's
I don't even expel the guy from the party.
That's the result you get when the party is not run by all members of the party.
There's no internal democracy. It's about talking democracy they are doing. Somebody must decide for everybody. Look at what is happening in Ogun State. Look at the yam pepper scatter that you have in Ogun State now. In fact, there are people who are saying that if that issue is not well managed, it could even affect the fortunes of Senator Lamileko. If they are not careful, if they don't manage the crisis in Ogun East and Ogun Central very well, it could just be a problem for even their governorship aspirants. Because you have Amosu now who is saying that he wants to run for senator in Ogun Central. They said that one too, and the guy has issued a statement to say that look, he will never be a part of a primary that has a predetermined result. In Ogun East, the current senator was not allowed into a caucus meeting. Lady Mo. What kind of Jambala Jugu party is that? What kind of nonsense democracy is that?
Well, Saifa, thank you very much. We have to go. Reports showing us that in Lagos State as well.
There's a problem.
There's a problem? Is there a problem?
They say there's a problem.
No.
Sahara reporters is reporting that there could be a problem.
Well.
And that's why me, I've said it. And I think people should pay attention to the little things we say. They might think we don't know what we are saying. But with our little privilege and our relationship with one or two people, when we say things, we know where we are saying and we know where we are getting information from. I said it that for Dr. Bafemi Hamzat, the deputy governor, it's just one step to the touchline. But showing that one step to the touchline, it needs prayers. It needs serious prayers. Because until Baba himself, the man that decides for everybody in Lagos, raises his hands, it is not over until it's over.
That's the question.
Forget all the consultations you are saying. Until Baba, I said it to a lot of their party members who kept saying, I said, look, we have seen it before. Now, financial reporters is reporting. We don't know whether it is true or not, that the governor is being told to resign so that the deputy governor can take over. And I told you before that some party members have told us that the Baba that decides for all of them is actually more willing to support somebody who can only run for one term constitutionally. And that's why the handbody option.
Do something for me. Can you give me a few minutes after the break, please?
All right.
So that we can quickly, because I'm getting to know a couple of interesting things about this. Please.
Right, no problem.
Thank you very much. We'll be back shortly. God bless you too. Good morning once again. Stay with us.